Don't let others count you out. And more importantly, don't count yourself out. Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Colette Elizabeth, and I created this channel as a safe space with you in mind. I help Black women to embrace new seasons of their lives with purpose and joy by pursuing resilience, practicing self-leadership, and by pivoting towards entrepreneurship. If this is something that is of interest to you, join the community. We'd love to have you. So today, I don't have notes. I don't have a script. I am just talking, and I'm continuing the Heart to Heart series with my sisters. And what inspired today's video was a conversation that I had with my great niece. My great niece plays lacrosse, and today their team advanced to the championships. They beat another team and they were able to proceed forward. What was interesting is my niece told me that the other team had already started fundraising to buy the ring that they assumed that they would get, because they assumed that they would beat my niece's team. And this team that my niece is playing, and I try not to get petty. This is high school sports, and I try not to get petty, but sometimes it's just that way. This particular team is notorious for playing dirty, for hitting, for doing all kind of things. And the referees generally side with them. This has been happening for years. And so when my niece told me that the team had actually just counted them out, had not even really considered that my niece's team would give them any competition, I was just flabbergasted. And I don't know why. I have no idea why I'm flabbergasted. But it sparked something in me, because my niece, they're young. They're teenagers, and they're trying to find their way. And sometimes other people can make you feel some kind of way. Sometimes other people can make you feel insecure, not sure about things, and just kind of make you question your ability and your value. So I said, let me get on here, because I see adult women experiencing the same thing. I have experienced it. Okay. I have before. It's rare that I do, but I have to admit, if I'm honest, I've experienced that, where somebody can make you feel a certain way. They've counted you out. They have not considered you. And I see my comments. I see where Black women respond to me, and they talk about the experiences that they have on these toxic jobs. I have talked extensively about leaving a toxic, crazy work environment via retirement. I really say I resigned via retirement because it was so crazy. But I'm saying all this to say, a lot of what we're seeing in today's society, especially for Black women, is just not being counted in, not being considered. And I just wanted to say, you were created for a purpose too. Now, I know that sounds cliche because people say it all the time, but I just want to reiterate, you were created for a purpose. I was created for a purpose. We were created for a purpose that nobody else can do. So let other people count you out. Number one, they're not the ones who created you. Number two, they're not the ones who gave you your purpose. Number three, most of them don't even matter. And when I say they don't matter, I don't mean they're not important to somebody. They just should not be important to you. If somebody has decided that you are an option, do not make them mandatory in how you view and see yourself. You should look at yourself every day and know, I am extremely valuable. I bring a lot of value wherever I go. I bring blessings where I go. All right. And make sure you're doing that. Right. And I'm not saying you got to be perfect, because I am totally not perfect. There are days when, hey, I'm a blessing coming, and some days I may be a blessing going, depending on who you talk to. I'm just keeping it 100. But what I'm saying to you is, when you are considering yourself, When you are thinking about yourself, when you are alone with your thoughts, nobody else's opinion matters about you. Nobody else's evaluation of you matters. Nobody's but yours and God, the creator of the universe. That's it. That's it, and that's all. So getting back to the story I started with when I was talking about my niece, the other team had counted my niece's team completely out. And I'm not saying that we should not be confident and we should not be faithful and we should not act as if. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, on the other side of that, when you are in a situation where it has been made clear to you that you were not considered, for example, in this case, a worthy opponent, let them count you out. But you don't count you out. And I know that's easier said than done. I have been in situations, personal situations, professional situations, where I was pretty much let know, honey, you don't count. I don't care about your opinion. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about any of it. I have been there. So I know that just experiencing that is difficult, and even understanding how to get past it can be difficult for grown women, let alone a teenager. Sit with that. We have people who are telling people they don't count. Now, this channel deals with people who are in the intersectionality of being a woman and being Black. That's who the content on this channel is curated for, Black women. And we know in that intersectionality, we are counted out, one, because we are a woman. We live in a country that does not value women. That's number one. They see us as second-class citizens. They can harm us and perpetuate all types of unspeakable violence, and the laws do not reflect justice as it relates to harming women. The second part of that is we know without a doubt that we live in an anti-Black country. All red, white, and blue of it. We know that. We know that. There's no debate about it. So we know on those two levels, in many cases, the audience that I am speaking to is counted out at least twice. You can add other little nuances to that. For example, I am a part of a generation that's not considered. You hear everybody talking about the baby boomers and the millennials. There's a whole nother generation in between there, Gen Xers. Hey, here we are. We're here, we're here, we're here. Now we happen to be the smallest generation, right? But we're here. It could be something as simple and practical as what hand you write with, what hand you throw a ball with. I happen to be left-handed. So I live in a world that does not consider me, because I live in a world where I think it's like only 1% of the people or 3% of the people in the world are left-handed or something like that. I don't know the exact percentage. Maybe somebody can put it in the comments for me. But the point I'm making is there's so many things that count folks out. You can think of them like filters. There's so many things filtering us out. But you don't have to filter yourself out. And I'm telling you, don't filter yourself out. I'm telling you, don't count yourself out. You were created for a purpose. And I know that's cliche, but I'm just going to say it. You were created for a purpose. You were created for such a time as this. Now, I won't say that sometimes it's not our season. Sometimes we have a season to be active, and sometimes we are in seasons to rest. For example, when I left that crazy toxic job that I was on, it was a government job. When I left that job, I had planned to move to another continent. Those were my plans. I had planned to do that, but I didn't. I didn't move to the other continent yet. And what happened, me and my mind rested. Me and my body rested. Me and my spirit, we rested. And you may say, Colette, why are you saying it like that? Why are you saying me and my body and me and my mind? The reason why I'm saying it like that is because when I was in the toxic environment where I was being counted out most of the time, except when they wanted my work, my labor, or things from my brain, my ideas, so that they can use and exploit and not give me credit for. Who does that sound? Does that sound familiar to any of you? I know it does because I read the comments. But when I was in that situation and I was dealing with that toxicity, my body and my mind and my spirit and me weren't connected all the time. I was disjointed most of the time, meaning that I was operating in autopilot. I would get up, I would talk to my kids. They were home for a little bit of that time during COVID. I would drive to work. If I had to go into the office, mostly I worked from home. So that meant I got onto some Zoom meeting or some telephone call, or some type of meeting that could have been an email. That was daily. And then I would almost, as a zombie, walk across the hall, my 20-second commute back to my bed when it was over with. I would get up the next day, rinse and repeat. I was not connected. So when I left, I was in a season of rest. So you may say, Colette, what does all of this have to do with purpose, with not being counted out, and with your niece's lacrosse game? Well, let me tell you what it has to do with it. It has to do with understanding that we all bring something valuable to this world. That's what it means. It means that even if a person, somebody other than yourself, does not see the value in what you bring, you still have that value. You still have that value. A diamond nowadays, because it wasn't always valuable, but the value of a diamond is still the same, whether the person who has the diamond or owns the diamond recognizes its value or not. It's still the same. Somebody can count that diamond out, but that does not diminish the actual value of that diamond. Meaning that you, the diamond, have value, whether somebody else considers your value or not. So what I'm saying to you, sis, don't let other people count you out. Don't let them count you out. And you sure shouldn't count yourself out. Sometimes you got to take yourself out for a minute to rest, gather your senses, your strength, your energy, whatever, recharge, refresh, pivot, if you want to call a pivot. But you get back in, honey. You get back in this thing and don't count yourself out, because you have something valuable. You are someone valuable, and this world would not have the same value if you were not in it. Count yourself in. That's all I have to say. Talk soon.